Okay, let's go.
So, you're a complete beginner and you want to start trading from scratch? You are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down the precise roadmap you need to go from knowing absolutely nothing to making your very first live trade. Let's dive in. Now, this isn't just some random theory. This entire explainer is built on the hard-won experience of a 6-year trading veteran. The whole idea here is to give you a massive shortcut, using their insights to help you skip all the common, painful mistakes that trip up most new traders. And here's how we're going to do it. We've got a super clear 5-step journey. Think of it as your personal roadmap, taking you from that very first decision all the way to actually executing trades. It's a simple, logical flow designed to build your skills and your confidence one step at a time. Okay, first things first. Before you do anything else, before you even think about charts or strategies, you have to decide where you're going to trade. And trust me, this is probably the single most important decision you'll make right at the start of your journey. So, when it comes to the big leagues, you've pretty much got 3 main options. You've got the Indian stock market, the super volatile crypto market, and then you have the massive Forex or foreign exchange market. Each one has its own rules, its own players, and really its own personality. So, how in the world do you choose? Well, after years of trading in all 3 of these, our source trader landed on a pretty strong opinion. And it all boiled down to answering one single crucial question: where is the greatest opportunity for growth? Okay, the best way to explain the answer is with a simple analogy. Imagine you want to open a restaurant. The Indian market? That's like opening your restaurant in a small village. Even if you have the best food in the world, your growth is capped. There are only so many people in the village. But the Forex market, that's like opening that same restaurant in the middle of a massive metro city. The potential for growth is just unlimited. And that's why, if starting from zero today, the clear choice is Forex. All right, so you've picked your arena, the Forex market. Fantastic. Now you need the right tools for the job. And that really just comes down to 2 key things: your broker and your trading platform. So, what even is a broker? Well, think of them as the ultimate middleman. When you want to buy gold, for example, you can't just go out and find a seller yourself. The broker connects you to one. They make the transaction happen, and they take a small fee for their service. It sounds simple, right? But listen, picking the wrong one can absolutely wreck your account before you even get started. Let me show you just how bad it can get. Imagine you start with 10,000 rupees. You have a few bad trades and you lose 5,000. Ouch, that's a 50% loss. It hurts, but hey, it's part of the game. But this is where a bad broker comes in and just twists the knife. On top of your trading loss, they hit you with another 1,000 rupees in hidden fees and commissions. All of a sudden, your 50% loss is now a 60% loss. That extra 10% might not sound like a lot, but it makes climbing out of that hole so much harder. This is why doing your research and picking a reputable, low-cost broker is absolutely non-negotiable. Now, once you have that good broker, you need a platform to actually look at charts and place your trades. These 3 right here are some of the most trusted and user-friendly options out there. You've got MetaTrader 5 or MT5. That's kind of the industry gold standard, super powerful. Then there's TradeLocker, which is really known for its clean, modern interface. Honestly, you can't go wrong starting with any of them. All right, you have your arena, you have your tools. Now we get to the real meat and potatoes, your strategy. This is where we go from just knowing stuff to having an actual, repeatable plan for making money. Now look, you could spend years, literally years, studying hundreds of different trading concepts, indicators, and patterns. But after 6 years of doing this, our source is basically telling us to cut through all that noise. Because it really all comes down to understanding one single, powerful idea. And that idea is liquidity. So what is it? Put simply, liquidity is just where all the money is sitting. It's where the big banks and institutions, the big fish, have placed their huge orders. If you can figure out where that is, you can pretty much predict where the market's going to go next. It's the secret sauce, really. And to find that liquidity, you only need to master a handful of core concepts. You need to get really good at spotting support and resistance. Those are just price levels where the market likes to turn around. You need to learn how to draw simple trend lines to see the bigger picture. And finally, you got to learn to read volume and momentum to see if there's any real power behind a market move. Look, the biggest mistake beginners make is getting lost in analysis paralysis. They try to learn 100 different things. Just don't do that. Stick to these basics. They're all you'll ever really need. So you take those core ideas and you build your personal strategy around these 4 pillars. First, your time window. When are you actually going to be at your computer trading? Second, your setup. What exactly are you looking for on the chart that tells you it's go time? Third, your instrument. Are you going to be a gold specialist or trade a specific currency pair? And fourth, the big one, your risk management. What are your hard and fast rules for how much you're willing to lose and what you're aiming to win on any given trade? Okay, so you've built a strategy on paper. Now what? Well, the one thing you absolutely 100% do not do is go and start trading with your real hard-earned cash. Seriously, that would be crazy. First, you've got to prove that this thing actually works. And you do that with a process called backtesting. All it means is you take your rulebook, your strategy, and you scroll back on the charts. Go back at least a full year, and you pretend to take every single trade your strategy would have told you to take. This isn't about guesswork. It's about collecting cold, hard data to see if your plan is actually profitable. But here's the pro move. Backtesting isn't just about finding a win rate. It's about finding your weaknesses so you can eliminate them. Look at your data. Are you losing a ton of money on Fridays? Guess what? You stop trading on Fridays. Simple. Does one particular setup almost always fail? Cool. You throw that setup in the trash. You see? You're not just testing, you're refining. You're systematically cutting out the losing parts of your strategy to make it stronger. Okay, we are in the home stretch now. This is the final step. You've built a strategy, you've proven it works on paper. Now, let's talk about making that jump from practice to the real world. Here's your final launch sequence, your pre-flight checklist. Step 1, make sure that backtested strategy has a solid win rate, something around 80%. Why so high? Because trust me, when you go live, nerves will probably drop that down to around 60%, so you need that buffer. Step 2, open a demo account. This is like a flight simulator. You use fake money, but you practice the real mechanics of clicking the buttons and placing orders. You build that muscle memory without any risk. And then finally, only when you're feeling rock solid and confident, you go live with a real account. And that's it. That is the entire roadmap. A complete step-by-step guide from knowing absolutely nothing to placing your first live trade, all built on years of real-world experience. The path is clear. It's laid out right in front of you. The only real question left is, are you ready to take that first step?